For our final topic, we're going to talk about Power Platform integration. The Power Platform is a set of applications and tools that enable cloud-based low-code, no-code development at scale. Power BI is the business analytics component, enabling analysis of enterprise data from almost any data source. Power Apps enable citizen developers to develop, deploy, and maintain apps without the support of traditional application developers. Power Automate enables automation of business processes across services, both on premises and in the cloud. And Power Virtual Agents allow creation of intelligent virtual agents. The Power Platform is supported by a common framework that includes data connectors, which allow Power Apps and Power Automate to connect to hundreds of different services, AI Builder, which provides facilities for creating powerful AI solutions that can then be incorporated into Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate, and Dataverse, which is a specialized database that is available to all Power Platform solutions. As powerful as the Power Platform is, deploying it into your enterprise can be a daunting proposition. To help support the deployment process, Microsoft has created the Power Platform Center of Excellence Starter Kit. This is a collection of components and tools designed to help you develop your strategy for adopting and supporting the Power Platform. It focuses specifically on Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents. It's implemented as a collection of documentation and solutions and is downloadable from the URL you see on the slide. One thing to note is that it requires a fairly involved setup process, so be sure to budget enough time. Once it's been deployed, the COE Starter Kit includes a collection of apps, flows, and a Power BI dashboard that collect and display information from across your Power Platform environment. For admins, managing environments is an important aspect of deploying and maintaining a healthy Power Platform deployment. A Power Platform environment is an administrative boundary and container for Power Platform assets. Each environment is defined in a single geographic region, and you can only have one Dataverse database per environment. Environments are created and managed by the Power Platform Admin Center. To create a new environment, you need to be a global admin, a Dynamics 365 admin, or a Power Platform admin. Despite its relative simplicity and accessibility, the Power Platform requires substantial planning to ensure a successful deployment. The factors admins have to consider when planning a deployment include governance policies that account for the fact that each Power Platform environment is provisioned in a specific geographic region, identifying an appropriate application and data lifecycle management strategy, planning for environments to support both development and production workloads, data loss prevention policies that protect sensitive information from leaking out of the organization, ensuring that administrative privileges are assigned appropriately, and planning around the constraints that each environment can have exactly one Dataverse database and that resources in one environment cannot access resources in another environment. When planning for Power Platform resource deployments, it's strongly recommended that you create separate test and production environments for apps, flows, and chatbots. Developers can then test apps thoroughly before releasing them. Other factors to consider in environment planning include the fact that each environment is tied to a single Azure AD tenant and is only accessible from users in that tenant, and that apps created in an environment can only connect to data sources in that environment, and that resources can be moved between environments. Generally, Power Apps and Power Automate flows will connect to external services. Apps and flows can connect to hundreds of cloud services with the appropriate credentials, and no further configuration will be required. If you want to connect to on-premises services, such as in-house databases or other on-prem applications, that's possible, but it requires the deployment of an on-premises gateway, which is a small piece of software that uses the Azure Service Bus to bridge between your on-prem resources and the Microsoft Cloud. Power Platform admins have a number of responsibilities, including management of resources. The Resources node in the Power Platform Admin Center allows management of capacity, which gives an overview of where your tenant is using storage, add-ons, and API requests that could impact your capacity. Dynamics 365 apps, which permits management of any Dynamics 365 apps purchased through Microsoft AppSource, and portals, where you manage data-driven websites that have been created using Power Apps techniques.